Hey YouTube. Okay, so I figured, because I was doing a lot of videos on TikTok, but I figured like the best thing to do maybe is like do videos on here, like speak my mind where I could speak longer and be more in depth in my thoughts versus just a quick little minute of me just saying little quotes type of things that come from my head. So okay, I guess maybe we should start from the beginning on how I got to thinking the way I think, and then work our way into world problems and my belief and all of that stuff. So it all started when I was younger. I was always very in tune with myself, like in a higher consciousness, like that's one thing I must always say. From the age of 4, when I was starting to learn how to read, like I had my own children's Bible, and every night, I read that Bible multiple times. Like that Bible was my lifeline. From 4 all the way up until maybe like 12, not only would I read the Bible every night, but I also felt like it was my obligation to pray. I felt like if I did not pray, and I did this faithfully every night, pray for my whole family. I felt like if I did not pray for them, if I did not pray, if I forget, if I whatever, I messed up, slip up, that was going to cost me. It was going to cost me something really important to me, which was one of my family members. So my connection was like very strong from then. And it's like my mom did have me going to the church, but church really was never my thing. Like when you're kids, they just let you go outside, play, and just do kid things. Like that church was more of like a small type of church, so they would feed us, the kids, not the adults. The adults go sit out there and go listen to that ceremony and all that stuff. And like I never really was connected with the church because I felt like people was preaching, but they was not practicing what it is that they preach. And a lot of the times they be preaching stuff off of their emotions. Like they will have a whole ceremony talking smack about one of the other members in the church. Like, are we trying to become better people and really, learn about the Lord? Or are we here to talk smack about Susan because Susan, was acting funny or not tithing the way she was supposed to? She wasn't giving up the money the way she was supposed to. She was being, whatever the problem is, or gossiping or whatever. Like, it was just a lot of, And so, of course, I didn't judge just off of one church. It's not like I go to one church and now my whole mind was made up. I've been to several churches over the years that I was forced to go. Because let's be honest. Hi, baby. I was a child and I didn't have no choice. I had to go. So, throughout all these different churches, like, the majority of them just be... Hi, baby. Okay, I guess I'm... Hi, baby. Hi, baby. We're PSC. So, like, I just realized, like, for these to be the holy people, these are supposed to be God's people, like, just something ain't seem right. It wasn't seeming real godly to me. Like, the math wasn't mathing. So, what do? Because, like, I'm the type of person who likes to fix and come up with solutions for my problems. My solution was this is not God. This is not fully God. Like there's some God in it, but this is not it. Like, how are y'all representing somebody so important, somebody so powerful, the creator, and mixing him with nonsense? Like even in the Bible, when Jesus was upset about the people coming and trying to collect money and all this stuff, he knocking over the tables, like he just was offended by that. But how y'all making people feel bad for not wanting to contribute to it? I was supposed to be helping to save souls, not take money. Like money, yes, is needed, yes, is important and everything, but like at the end of the day, it is not more important than somebody who is trying and who wants to do better, but for whatever reason, finances, maybe selfishness, maybe whatever it may be, we are not there to judge that person. That's not our job to attack this person or blow them up and embarrass them that just wasn't adding up to me. And this is like from under 12. You know, I'm observing and noticing and like, you know, in my head making mental notes. I wasn't rocking with it. So when I was able to make a choice to choose to not go to church, oh baby, they never seen me again. I'm lying, they did see me when I got a little older, but like they didn't see me for years. No church, and like no church saw me until like I had a child of my own. It wasn't given godly. It wasn't given. It's like I don't know who they were worshiping. They were going about it all wrongly. So then as I got a little older, maybe more 16 and up, I was like, well, you know what? Because, you know, for a while, I blamed the church. Like, I just felt like people from the church were fake, ungodly, judgmental. Like, everything that you're not supposed to really be is what they were. But yet, or reading the Bible and it's saying clearly, like, this is not what you're supposed to do. But they turn around and do it. Was it wolves in sheep clothing type of thing? Like, phony, fake. Like, I wasn't feeling it. Couldn't rock with that. Like, it didn't feel right. I had to, you know, stop being judgmental, because then I realized I was doing the same exact thing that I was judging these people for doing. I was being judgmental. I had to think like, okay, let's reason. It's not like I went to a handful of churches and this is the way they operate, or like certain particular areas. So like I've been to churches in different towns, and yet they all kind of have something in common. You feel me? So I was like, this can't be a coincidence. Like, maybe it's not their fault, because if it was just like something with like a personal problem, or they needed to grow on their own, it would only been one church or two churches, maybe even three. And then I realized maybe it's what they're being taught, you know, like maybe it's not them, maybe it's beyond them, you know, because if you're taught something, you're automatically going to assume from the people you learned it from that they know best, you know. So I was like, maybe it's what they're taught. It's just like doctors, you feel me? Like, doctors go to a school to gain all their information, which is why a lot of them are stuck to their ways. And like, no matter what, especially if somebody don't have a degree or did not go to medical school, or they don't have family members in high ranks, like, you can't talk to this doctor to try to tell them about their job. They're not going to want to hear it. You are not qualified to speak to them on that matter, even if they're wrong, even if they don't know. Even if they're confused, they don't care. They don't want to hear it, because this is what they were taught. They feel like they know best from the information they gathered in the schooling that they went to learn this information. Not off of research they also did on their own, not for that. Just off of what they learned from this organization, this schooling, this whatever, scholar, whatever. So in their head, they feel they know best based off of them obtaining this knowledge from someone they feel is creditable. Same thing with churches. They all learn from wherever they went, so they feel they know best, and whether it's right or wrong, because they all study this stuff. But that also didn't explain like the personal, like the way they make stuff personal, which then made me feel like, okay, so it's a little bit deeper than just what they learned and where they learn it. Is like, okay, this is also personality. This is also human, you know, traits that they all kind of like. You make a preacher mad, you know, you gonna be that ceremony next week gonna be about you. You know, it's like, why are people like that? And it's like, yo, society. They get this from society. Again, I was not an adult realizing this. I wasn't 18 and up. No. I'm realizing this. Under 18, under 17, I'm realizing like, yo, society plays a big role on everything. Like, then it had me thinking even deeper. Yo, let me go do deeper. If society has like, you know, society have such a hand in the way that we're being taught to act and how to treat people and all of that in the church. Like, we're learning all this in the church, because when you go to church, you feeling like, yo, I'm praising the Most High. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm learning what I need to learn. And you're observing, and low-key, you picking up traits that you obtain there. So if you see the preacher gossiping, and like subconsciously, you're going to feel like that's not a bad thing, because he's a godly person and he's doing it. And as time goes on, I start realizing, like, doing my little research, and as I try to get more in tune and connected with myself, because I kind of went off the railing of even caring about, because like, you'll go to the pastor to talk about your problems and tell him what's going on, and next thing you know, Sister Mary coming up to you talking about, are you okay, dear? Are you fine? I'm so sorry to hear about your sick husband. I'm so sorry. And you're like, wait, I know Shorty not a psychic. I only told that to one person in this church. So how does Sister Mary know? And that's when you find out, okay, so there's a lot of gossiping going on behind closed doors. There's a lot of things that is unnecessary, and it's only normal because society have already deemed it normal. Like, that's already a regular standard in these streets. Gossiping, nobody's really safe. You feel me? Like, that's just what it is. So we also take those traits that we adapt to and then bring them into the holiest place to be trying to teach. And I'm not saying every pastor is like that. I'm not saying, but all I'm saying is that's something I observed, which then made me realize, after I've done some more research, I'm researching stuff. Hold up, the Bible that we reading isn't even the original. Like, it's edited, it's altered, it's changed, it's all these different things. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. Society has more of a role in this than I thought they did, And when I say society, government, everything, like yo, the stuff we're learning is what they are allowing us to know. So I'm like, hold up. None of us is able to go back to our ancestors or regular people aren't able to go and talk to the dead. You feel me? We're not able to go and confirm or deny anything that is in here. Nobody has that. So at that point, and then I seen the stuff, you start learning about slavery, you start learning about all these different things, and how they used to use the Bible to, get black people, like they altered it for a certain purpose. So then I'm like, oh, eye opener. So this is something they done before in the past, and they're telling us they did this in the past, and they did it to entrap the minds of people. And here we are still following on with this tradition. Like, nobody see fault in this. And don't you dare question that Bible. You question anything. You start trying to think outside the box to try to get some type of answers to make stuff make sense, because this puzzle is not fitting. Like, this puzzle, the pieces do not go together right now. So obviously there's more to this puzzle than what I've been given. Yes, baby. Yes, baby. So now I'm like, hold on. So if this Bible is not even the original, because the original is in a whole different language and yada yada, blah blah blah, and there's missing books and missing stories out of the Bible for whatever reason, this now is just adding more fire to the fuel of something's not right. So at that point, I was like, I'd rather listen to myself, my intuition, my gut, even though I may not have had or felt like I had as much knowledge as maybe a preacher or somebody who really studied and dedicated possibly their life to this. I felt like I know better than to blindlessly follow behind. I should not feel like I'm going to church to be judged. I should not feel like I got to impress or dress so they won't talk about me, or I shouldn't be trying to do so much to not, end up in a late night gathering of them talking about me type of thing. I should not be caring about that when I go. I should be going just for the word of the Lord. So I already seen that churches were corrupted. Plus, they had stuff going on in the news about priests, messing with children and popes. One thing about the Lord, we all know he don't play about his children. So why are we giving a pass to people in high positions who's supposed to be leaders messing with little kids like that? There is the biggest scandal. There should be none of that in the Lord. That shouldn't even be nowhere near. That shouldn't even be connected. There should be nothing linked. But yet there is. And yet it's kind of more common then it's way more common than it's supposed to be. At that point, the church done lost a member. Cause I'm not participating in this fakeness. Like, I'm not, and I'm not about to just follow behind. Like, I never was the type to just follow somebody, especially if I do not agree with it. Like, if I'm following behind somebody, it's because I already thought of the idea, maybe in my head or whatever, or I was ready, I was down for the cause. If I'm going to be doing something because somebody's like, yo, let's go do this, it's because I already was like, yo, I made up my mind. But I'm not going to go with somebody or follow behind somebody or follow behind a group of people, whatever, just because people saying like, yo, this is what we're supposed to do. This is just what it is. This is all like, you're disrespecting God. I'm not disrespecting God. Y'all are disrespecting God. And you're disrespecting him more for participating and acting like this shit is normal. Like, y'all following behind is like, this is normal. Like, this is okay. So I was like, you know what? I'll take my chances with, I'll take my chances with my own thoughts, my own intuition. So at least if I am to be led astray, it'll be my own fault. It'll be my downfall. Not because I'm ignorant, not because I'm a follower, not because of somebody else. You feel me? Like, I'm not going to allow nobody else to walk me into the gates of hell. Nobody. So that was the beginning. That was the spark of me realizing I'd rather be spiritual than religious. Second thing was all of these different religions, yo. All of these different religions. Me picking one is me basically saying mine is better than that next person's. Mine is better than theirs. But at the end of the day, like, who's to say that? And who am I to say which one is right and which one is wrong? To me, if any of them, if I had to choose off of my own knowledge, off of my own research, I wouldn't be picking no Christianity. No, I wouldn't be picking that. I would have been picking like the Buddhism, because to me, becoming one with yourself and becoming greater and like learning self-discipline and self-control and just spreading positivity, like, to me, that is godly. Like, all that other stuff, like, I don't know. But at the end of the day, again, who am I to say which were right? Especially at that time in my life when I wasn't fully knowledgeable on any of that. So I wasn't picking. Like, at the end of the day, I knew there was a higher consciousness. I knew there was a higher being, without a doubt. I didn't need no proof for that. I didn't need no evidence for that. But everything else that they're trying to link to him, I wasn't with it. I wasn't participating, y'all. No. And especially with the history, like when you do more research and you think about the corruption just within this country and the world leaders and all that stuff, like, they don't ever do nothing for the good of the people, of the majority of the people. They do good for their own kind. They do good for themselves. But they don't give a F about nobody else. And they sure not trying to help people to gain salvation. Like, they don't care about us. They throw us to the wolves in a heartbeat if they could, or, whatever the case may be. So why am I going to just, like, in my head, I'm like, why am I going to just believe all of this? And the fact that they never, like, people get so upset and so, like, offended when you start thinking differently. And like, you don't have to be like, oh, is God real? You don't even have to go that deep, because at that point I could kind of understand. It'll at least make a little more sense to me. Like, yo, because you disrespecting God. Like, are you questioning his existence? Like, of course they're gonna be upset. No, it could just be stuff like you asking about the Bible. Like, yo, well, this kind of don't make sense. And what is this? And who's the author? And King James, who is he? What is he about? What is his history? What, like, what's his like backstory type of thing? Like yo, how is people devoting their whole entire life? They are worshiping something and putting supposedly their all into this, and most of them haven't even read the Bible fully for themselves all the way through. They may have started and stopped. Some didn't even start. Some only know about stuff because of other people telling them, not for their own experiences, not from their own research and knowledge. So how am I following behind people who don't even care enough to get the knowledge and obtain the knowledge that is the religion, whatever it is they're following behind. Like, to me, that's crazy. How you dedicating your whole life to worshiping and thank you, to worshiping and just believing with somebody. It could be your parent, it could be your grandparent, it could be whoever, it could be everybody, but you're just gonna take their word for it? That's it. That's all it takes. Like, you're not even doing your own research, you're not even reading the book, you're not even studying, you're not even looking into nothing. It's just, okay, this is what it is. Okay. Whoa. And then if I question it, all of a sudden, if they don't know the answer, or they can't come up with the answer, or whatever, maybe they don't even want to think of the answer. They just discard it, like, oh, you're a heathen. Like, to me, everything was like backwards. Like, they're teaching us right is wrong and wrong is right. They're telling us, like, yo, like, they're trying to paint the Lord as this being who is a jealous and I can understand, but like, as this, you get him upset and he about to turn up on a whole nation. You get him mad and everybody about to be off this existence. He's starting from scratch. Forget it. Like, no, like, to me, like, God was love. Like, that's all I ever, like, loyalty. Like, that's one of his biggest things. Like, he look out for those who look out for him, who hold him down, you know, like, so, like, they trying to, people are trying to manipulate the situation, like, oh, what about the kids starving in Africa? They don't deserve that. Like, why are people going through things? Like, why is there so much this on earth? Like, how are y'all complaining for stuff that y'all allowing to happen? Like, how are y'all complaining and mad? The kids in Africa, like, yo, we got billion and trillionaires out here who have more than enough money to be able to help. We all work together. We can help everybody on this planet. We get this whole ball rolling, but y'all want to blame God? Really? Y'all don't want to take accountability? No. You don't see a problem with the system. You don't see a problem with these cycles we're repeating. You don't see a problem with this negativity and evil ways that people think, where greed is what rule all the negative emotions. Ego, pride, greed, envy, like, all of that. Like, to me, I'm like, yo, how is people really not seeing that? Like, even diseases, people like, oh, well, why would God let my aunt die from cancer? So your aunt wasn't out there eating McDonald's all the time? Like, your aunt wasn't out here eating little Debbie Doobies or whatever? Like, your aunt wasn't out here contributing to her own downfall, her own demise? Like, no talking smack about nobody with cancer, because that's, you know, it's always a very touchy and sad situation. But at the end of the day, majority of people, if we took better care of our health, if we made that an importance, you know, stop eating this garbage that they got, this processed garbage. Like, everything is almost corrupted, down to even the organic. Like, they're putting pesticides and stuff that's like, yo, even though organic is not organic. So again, another failure from your government, but yet somehow you're blaming God. That's his fault. That's his fault. He made her eat that. He made the government just give us this garbage, and he made us not fight to change that, like the other countries did, who ban stuff and they don't even allow that in their country. But here we are, selfish and simple-minded, thinking that somehow let's pass the blame. Let's take the easy route. We're comfortable with how things are. So why not us blame the man upstairs, the creator, for problems that humans created? Like, that don't make sense to me. So that's why I don't just follow the funk. I don't follow the trends. I don't just listen and blindly trust and believe in people enough to just, like, risk my whole freaking salvation, risk my soul. No, baby. I'm gonna do my research. I don't care about nothing a person want to tell me. Because at the end of the day, every person, not every person, but a lot of people that I put my trust in, what they do, they fail me. Why? Because that's just the way life is, type of thing. It's just like, oh, it is what it is. Like, y'all are too emotional. A lot of y'all are more emotional than y'all are logical. Like, y'all are stuck in this this state of fear all the time. Y'all are stuck in this state of doubt. Y'all are stuck in this state of like feeling like you aren't worthy. You don't deserve more. You deserve what you get. Like, no, sweetie. No. You get what you give. If you allow something and you don't try to change it, you are just as much as the problem, or as a part of the problem as the problem. It's just like if you do a crime if your friend do a crime and you with them, you in a so. You know, you a part of it. You are a part of it. You are a part of the problem because you aren't trying to stop or change it. So when I did all my little observation and research and breaking stuff down and like really seeing like what is best for me, not what they tell me it was best for me, not what they show me, unless there is like, you know, but not everything need proof. Not like, to me, I feel like one thing about the Lord, you know, that people seem to fail to really like process is like, yo, where man says no, God could say yes. They could be telling the doctor that, oh my God, this person only have 3 days to live. This person will never walk again. This person won't make it past 1 year old, 2 years old, 10. And then what does God say? God said, watch them. And they rise. They do, you know, they supersede what it is that people were trying to say otherwise of. So if people could see and know that, why y'all still not having enough faith to trust your intuition, to trust your gut when something don't seem quite right? Like, the Lord is trying to scream and let people know, like, yo, this is not me. This is not it. And y'all just like, and you know, you'll get the questioning and the confusion and like, so, but y'all allow other people to dictate how you feel. Somebody be like, nah, you bugging. Somebody be like, no, you know, don't you ever, like, y'all allow their emotions and they're scared and they're doubt and they're reflecting off onto you. And then you take on those emotions and you do the same. You continue on the cycle. Like, break it. Like, think outside the box. That don't mean just because you think something, just because you're curious, just because you're learning, that don't mean that that's what it is. Just because you're like, well, what about this religion? Let me look more into it. I'm kind of confused. That don't mean you said, I'm an atheist. You know, that don't mean you said, screw this, I'm done. No, it's just curiosity. Like this is a world based off of low vibrations. Like, they want everybody to be in fear. They want everybody to stay down. They want everybody to just believe whatever it is they dish out, to accept whatever they dish out. Like, yo, stuff be so unjust, stuff be so unright, stuff be sick, wicked, and sad. And society just be going with it. Not only do society go with it, but then y'all start doing it on your own. They don't even have to tell y'all or influence y'all in no way besides maybe the music and all the other stuff. But like, y'all start thinking like the devil. Y'all start dancing like the devil. And then y'all blame God. Then you're like, why haven't he been, he tried, he came knocking at your door like one too many times and you straight shut it in his face. You opened, closed, or never even acknowledged it. So what more do you want from him? What can he do for people who do not want the help? His job is not to force you to do anything. He's not to force nothing upon you. It's your job to accept it.